Good evening, race fans. Welcome to another fantastic Friday night for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series. My name is Jonathan Leach, and joining us in the booth with his excellent color commentary is Corey. Please, Corey, it's at Boudinot. Help me out here.
We'll go with that for tonight.
All right, well, then we're going to call you Boudinot for the night. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so Corey, this is the race we've been waiting for. I have anticipated this one for a while now. It's one of the races that we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's not a drop race, so where you finish are the points that these drivers are going to get. And it looks like, to me, 8 drivers are solidly in the playoffs, but 8 other drivers are trying to get the last 4 coveted spots. So that being said, what do you expect to see in this race?
Well, being it's 105 laps around Daytona, that's a long race for a playoffs spot. You could be at the back and get caught up in a wreck. You could be up front and get caught up in a wreck. As long as you just stay safe, you're going to be good.
Absolutely. So I want to bring that's a good point to bring up. I wanted to mention that we're going to see different drivers try to do different things. I believe we're going to see drivers like Carl Dodson, number 29. He's 30 points to the good. I expect we're going to see him just kind of lay low and finish. Then you have drivers like Doc Holliday, who I actually don't see tonight in the field. But PJ Inkelkins, he is 40 points below the cutoff. He's going to have to be extraordinarily aggressive tonight in order to make that up.
Yeah, PJ almost has to win tonight. I mean, he could technically get... Yeah, he has to win.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And he's going to pretty much have to win, and we're going to see him very aggressive. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about the race info. Daytona International Speedway, obviously it's a massive oval. Track length is just under 2.5 miles at 2.48 miles. Temperature is going to be 86 degrees, and we know Daytona's on the coast. The altitude is only 37 feet above the sea level. Daytona Beach, Florida, what a great place. I haven't been there yet, but gosh, one of these days. Again, outside air temperature is 81 degrees. Track temperature, 86 degrees. Humidity, it's muggy out at 78 degrees. Sky's clear. We got a 10 mile per hour wind these drivers are going to be dealing with. Drivers are rolling off, Corey. Will Barlow is going to be up front with J.D. Baker to his outside for the start of this one. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't either. And see Carl Dodson right there in third, setting up pretty good for the start of the race at least.
So that being said, Corey, have you seen how these new vehicles drive? These next generation cars, how they drive these super speedway tracks? It's rather interesting. They're quite a bit different than the older model cars. These guys tend to have to run almost single file. The runs aren't nearly as strong. It's going to make for, I think, a lot of single file racing.
Well, with only 14 cars out here, we had Tony Patton just now. He had a little bit of server connection problems, so we're going to start this race with 13 cars. I'd say, being as long of a race as it is, single file would be the safest bet until about 5 to go.
13 cars. This is going to be an interesting one. Well, Corey, I think we're going to be, it's going to feel kind of long for us up here in the booth, but it's not going to feel long for these drivers that have to make the cut. I think we're going to see some real easy driving for about 95 laps, and then all craziness is going to break loose. The call is yours, Corey. Let's go racing.
Well, Will Barlow, he's going to give the go-go juice here on the green flag. Pretty good start. Carl Dodson right on his back bumper. They're going to form up that inside line going down turn number 1 here.
Yeah, I want to see how long it takes for these guys to get up single file to see Will Barlow's starting to pull away a little bit on the low side. However, oddly enough, it seems like the high side is forming. You've got Justin Boyles in the number 8 machine to the top behind Carl Dodson. Carl Dodson, who we mentioned, solidly in the playoffs, not locked in, but all he really needs to do is finish this race, and he should be fine. With the size of the field, even if he finishes last, I believe he's going to be in the playoffs. So that being said, if he's done the math and that's true, we might see him be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, technically he's pretty well locked in. If he can win a stage, that'd really solidify his playoff hopes.
Yeah, most definitely hoping to see that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I enjoy the next-gen car at the Super Speedway. It's a different style of racing than what we're used to seeing. We're seeing a lot of two-file or two-wide racing at these tracks, but these cars, if you're not right on your opponent's bumper, you don't go anywhere, if that makes sense. And it'll kind of stall out real quick. In fact, I think that might just happen to the number 55 machine of Jordan Sailors. He was right on Will Barlow right there. And if you're not within, say, maybe 2 feet of the car, it just doesn't seem to tow these next-gen cars along.
Yeah, the aero here is rather weird, and I still can't understand it. But all I know is you see the air and you take the air.
So far, we actually do have some two-wide racing. The low line seems to be the preferred lane, but we've got some drivers trying to make the top lane work. That's led by Carl Dodson. You got Justin Boyles up there, and the number 55 of Jordan Sailors to the top two. Excuse me, not Jordan Sailors. I believe that's Timothy Latham, the number 5 machine. The Raise Energy, Timothy Latham. That was a cool car last week. It's a cool car this week. See a lot of colorful paint schemes out here. Something I do like about Daytona is it really does allow us the opportunity to look at these machines because long straightaways, we can really take a good camera angle and get up close to these cars, and that's really something that I like here. Looks like the bottom lane starting to prevail. Carl Dodson falling way back to 8th now, just really hung out to dry out here as we're looking from the blimp cam. He's just falling all the way back. I'm not sure if that was by design. Corey, did you hear anything in the game chat? Or in race chat?
No, not really.
Sounds like it was either by design or he just got hung out and had to fall to the back. Drivers coming to turn number 1. Still some stragglers trying to make the high lane work. Doesn't seem to be the way to get around here right now.
Yeah, these guys have all figured out single file. We got a stage here in about 25 laps. Let's not get too crazy. They did experiment a little bit with the high side with 3 cars, and it was working for them a little bit. Just single file.
Yeah, so at what point, if you were driving in this race, when would you try to find out what your car would do? Would you try to see what it can do at the end of a stage? Would you pick kind of like right now for your attempt to, well, let me try to pull out of the line, let me see what I can do by myself? Because, I mean, you don't really know until you're on the track. You don't really know what you've got. You can practice, you can practice, you can practice. But something that iRacing does really well is changing conditions. I have countless times practiced on a track. Practice, gone to qualify, hit the racetrack, time goes a little bit faster between the sessions. All of a sudden the racing surface is totally different. So when would you start trying to practice that? I personally, I think I would start doing that now. I want to know as early as possible so I don't have to make aggressive moves later when everybody else is trying to figure out what their car could do. What are your thoughts?
Well, typically when I run here at Daytona, this is with last generation car, or as we call it, current generation. I typically wait until about 15, 20 laps into a race and make sure I have a guy behind me that I can fall in front of in case I do lose a draft. You see Carl Dodson and Justin Boyles, they're experimenting with the high side a little bit, and Timothy Latham's going to help them out, see what that high side will work out for later in the race.
Yeah, we're going to see if those three drivers on the high side up there are going to be able to make a push by chance to get to the top. And see, that would be part of that experimenting that I was mentioning. If those guys can make a push on the outside by themselves, those three, maybe four if number 14 of Dave Hughes Jr. gets involved. See, that's what you want to know. But I just don't think 3 versus 9 is going to work unless these guys are bumper to bumper. And something else I've noticed about the next gen cars, they tend to overheat a bit when they're right on top of each other.
Yeah, I haven't driven a next gen car, so I wouldn't know about overheating.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience in it. I tell you what, though, it is a different feel. They have so much grip. They go around the racetrack so differently from the current gen cars, and it's got to be because of that independent suspension that's now new on these cars. It's a little bit sleeker design, much bigger spoiler, as you can see. These cars, the spoiler is just massive. I mean, you look in your rearview mirror and you're staring at your spoiler. It's got to have a lot to do with that. And I think it's really, as far as racing goes, I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't like the look, but racing, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's going to bring more driver skill into play.
Yeah, for sure, with how they've done the aerodynamic work on these cars and the suspension work, and even the new tires. The tires are bigger on these things.
You know, I didn't notice that, but you're absolutely right. Who we got in the pits? Looks like Dakota Jorgensen's in the pits right here. I wonder what happened there.
Looks like
I'm gonna back it up.
Damage.
Yeah, it looks like he just came down pit road. I'm not sure what happened right there. Really odd. He just comes down pit road in that body armor machine, and he's been in there for 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Here we are back to live. J.D. Baker leading Will Barlow, Jordan Sailors, Danny Setzer, Joseph Dupont, top 5. Coming to lap 11, on lap 11 at this time.
Yeah, Jordan Sailors, he's one of your drivers trying to sneak into the playoffs. He came into this race 8 points out. So right now, he has a 2-point advantage. He's gaining 2 points on to Jordan Sailors. I mean, Joseph Dupont. So right now, I mean, it's going to be close towards the end when we get to the end of this race of points. Especially with stage points. Top 10 all get a point starting with first. They get 10 and it goes down by 1 point back to 10th spot. So
you see, that right there, that's big. That's where PJ Inkelkins needs to make up his time. Is right there. He's got to make it up with these stage points. I mean, he needs to win these stages, all of them. I mean, he may not have to win the race if he's P1 stage 1, P1 stage 2. He may not have to win the race anymore. Maybe just a top 3 finish.
Looking at the math here, if PJ were to theoretically win both stages, that'd give him 20 points. And hypothetically, Tony Patton, Jordan Sailors, J.D. Baker, Carl Dodson, and even Joseph Dupont all finish outside of the top 10 in each stage. I don't think 14 spots on the track is enough for a playoff spot. And he got real loose out of turn 2 there. Did you see that?
No, unfortunately, we missed it here in live. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. I don't think it's those top guys that would be the competition there. I think it's like Joseph Dupont. I think it's very dependent on where he finishes. Currently, he's in front of PJ Inkelkins. So if PJ Inkelkins comes out, wins stage 1, and Joseph Dupont follows that up P2, I think he's going to have to win the race.
Yeah, he's pretty much got to win.
but I like doing the math game and playing what ifs, especially when we're going to have easy driving right now. There's, for us, not a lot going on. These drivers, they're focused. They're just trying to run their line. They're just trying to stay in line and not tear up the race cars. First at Daytona, you got to make it to the end to win. It looks like Will Barlow's thinking about sneaking out there. Maybe thought better of it. He might get a nose under. He's not. J.D. Baker's going to keep that door shut right there.
They just put Richard Smith a lap down. He'll fall in behind the lead lap cars, looking for a lucky dog at the end of the stage. Now, fuel run here, looking at about 25 to 30 laps. So these drivers, you save more fuel when you're behind a car. If you're out front, you may not be saving as much as you'd like, and we may see some flip-flop here in a bit.
Yeah, very possible. Well, you know, Corey, this is going to be a long race, so let's go ahead and take one of our few Turn It Up segments that we're going to do. Fans, race car drivers, everybody watching, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. We're going to turn it up for you, and we're going to be right back. Holy cow. Step away for a few moments, and the whole race picture has just changed. Corey, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I was just watching Will Barlow and had J.D. Baker on view and see him get real loose. I thought he was going to save it. And all of a sudden, chaos just ensued.
PJ Inkelkin's involved. J.D. Baker involved. Danny Setzer. Justin Boyles. Let's watch
Charles Dodson.
Wow. Violent. Let's go on board with PJ Inkelkins here. Driving on low line. Looks like it's Justin Boyles who gets loose up top. Correction, J.D. Baker got loose up top. It looks like nobody else anywhere to go. Watching from J.D. Baker's view. He's just loose coming out of the corner. I'm not sure if he got tapped prior to that. And then everybody else just nowhere to go. What a ride.
Well, Joseph Dupont's about the only driver that got involved that don't have too bad of damage. I mean, it's still pretty well kinked in on that 33 car.
Yeah, I would say it looks like the top 8 cars now all made it through there. Danny Setzer on pit road. Richard Smith is out here. J.D. Baker. Oh, man, his machine is really beat up. Justin Boyles looks pretty banged up as well. I have a feeling that he doesn't have a nose on that machine. That is the case there. Pit stops occurring at this time. Corey, this is a caution. You know, what driver do you think we should bring in there? Perhaps maybe Will Barlow, get his thoughts on what happened? He avoided it, so I figure he's still in good spirits.
I kind of want to talk to Tony Patton, if we can get him.
I'll give you that. Go ahead and bring him in. Tony Patton, number 86, Toyota Camry. You see him pulling into his pit stop right here.
We'll give him a second to get his pit.
Looks like he's solidly in his pit stall right there.
Let him focus on the exit here. Hey, Tony, we're up here in the booth. You got a copy on us?
Yes, sir.
Well, a little bit of connection issues right at the start there.
My computer shut off right as we were gridding.
Oh no.
Man.
That ain't what you want to have. Well, I mean,
No.
at least this caution is kind of helping you out a little bit.
I'm going to need these boys to do a little bit of racing so I can get back into this.
Yeah, man. I mean, your T-lap's down right now, and you're going to need some luck to get back on the lead lap. Although,
Yeah.
looking at points, you're looking pretty good right now.
Well, I just saw J.D. Baker's out, and I can't remember, but I know he was ahead of me in the points, so that definitely does help me a bit.
He had a 15-point advantage over you coming into this race.
All right, so I still got some work to do.
You did.
Well, Joseph Dupont was involved in that wreck as well. He was 3 points ahead of you coming in. You might as well go out and try to get you some stage points here, man.
Stage points? I'm 3 laps down, man.
He
I don't
needs the
think I'm going to
stages
get
to
back
some
onto
laps.
the lead point until I get back on to the lead, no?
Well, if they wreck each other again, you could get there.
You
That's
know
true.
what, Tony?
That is
Believe it
true.
or not, you're sitting P10 right now. I think that's worth a point.
I'll take it. I will take it.
All right, well, these pace lights are out. We're going to send you back to focus. We'll be watching you. We'll see
All
if you
right,
can't
thanks,
get
guys.
back out there.
You're Showtime, right?
All right, good deal. Corey, thanks for doing that interview. So we got Will Barlow, Timothy Latham that are going to be starting up front. Another Rays Energy machine, and the number 55 for Jordan Sailors. And you got the number 14 of Dave Hughes Jr. Brian Mabray rounds out the top 5. Carl Dodson, the number 29 machine, row 3 on the outside. Should be a little bit of fun. I enjoyed the first restart. It was rather entertaining. It's time to do it again.
Yeah, one of the lucky drivers in that was Jordan Sailors. It's really going to help out his situation on points here as we are going back green. Will Barlow and Timothy Latham back on the go-go juice. And Latham's going to try to look for a gap down on the bottom. Not sure. Jordan's not going to give it to him. He's going to have to fall in behind Jordan Sailors here in P3.
Looks like we're getting back to that single file racing once again. They'll probably settle down a little bit now after that. A lot of torn up race cars. Man, that is such a pretty machine, that number 55. Really, the 15, the 5, the 14, that light blue and white. These guys sure don't disappoint on these paint schemes. Got our high-speed drone camera on number 14 of Dave Hughes Jr. and his number 14 Mustang. That is a cool-looking car, Corey. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a cool looking Diamond Motorsports Dave Jr. graphics Ford Mustang with 14 Chase Briscoe looking number on it.
Yeah, that's a sweet looking car. Behind him, you got Brian Mabry, Budweiser, Chevrolet Camaro with a huge run on the number 86 right now. Excuse me, he's not quite behind him. He's behind Tony Patton, who we just mentioned. Looks like he's got some speed. He's a few laps down, but he does have some speed. So some stage points, another lucky caution. He might be in this thing at the end.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, that caution really helped him out. Being the 2 laps down he was, and a lot of guys in front of him being involved in the wrecks, really does help out Tony Patton.
Most definitely. But the only concern I have is there's some slower cars than him on the track. Looking at Joseph Dupont and I believe Richard Smith here, they're by themselves. Richard Smith going around just Dupont right now. Both drivers are very slow, off the pace. Dupont's got a lot of damage to his right rear. I'm certain that's hurting his the aerodynamics of that vehicle, and it's going to hurt the top speed. A little farther behind them is Carl Dodson. Doesn't have a nose. He restarted P6. Now he's sitting 8th. Significantly off the pace. Almost 5 seconds slower than the leader. PJ Inkelkins missing everything on the front end. Just an engine.
Everything
Holy
on
moly.
the front, everything on the back. We could get rid of the fenders. It would just be some doors.
Yeah, that is insane right there. And the back. This car is... Holy cow. That Oreo machine has had a better day.
It got dunked in some milk.
I think it got dunked in a lot more than milk, but that's the way I would say it too. It is. It's a rough day right there. So the problem with Tony Patton now is when these other cars go a lap down, he's not going to be in the lucky dog position anymore because he's further back. So he's definitely going to need some timely cautions. I think the stage is he's gonna catch this first stage before anybody else goes a lap down. I think.
Hate to say it, but Tony just got spun.
Oh man, yeah, without a caution. He needs to refire and get going. Oh, he is. Wow, holy cow. What happened here?
Hard to say what happened there. I don't know if the little light, I don't think Mabry lightly tapped him that hard.
It
But
looks like Tony was down just a little bit. Number 3 was there. I think Tony thought they were still clear, and that was not the case, and that's gonna be what I'm gonna say the commentator's curse.
not Tony.
Not the day he was looking for. A few more laps till the end of stage number 1. Will Barlow, Jordan Sailors, Timothy Latham, breakaway pack for the top 3. Going around the number 93 of PJ Inkelkins right now, who unfortunately I'm going to say is probably not going to be in the playoffs moving forward. Daytona got him, Corey. Daytona got him.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's always that miracle chance. I always say it at Daytona. There's always a miracle chance that everybody could possibly wreck out. That's very miracle chance, and I don't think it's ever happened.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to... I think it's a little too late for the miracle to happen now with these cars getting spread out. There's not very many clean cars left to really race around. In fact, I believe it's only Will Barlow, Jordan Sailors, Timothy Latham. I think those are the cleanest cars on track. I think it's going to be a battle for these 3, but that means I think we might be set up for a spectacular 3-wide finish, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, no, Dave Fuge and Brian Mabry still have clean cars. They just fell off the pace during the stage, which is fixing the end here in a couple of laps. Now, I'm going to be interested to see if Jordan Sailors doesn't try to make a move I mean, 1 point is 1 point.
Well, now's the time to practice that. Coming around, this is going to be the last lap for it. This is the time to do that. See if you can pull out behind the machine and make that move work.
You see him, he's backed off of Will Barlow. Timothy backed off of both of them, trying to see if he can't get a run right here on the last lap of the stage. There you go, Jordan Saylor's backing off of Will Barlow, trying to get the draft slingshot. One last chance as they head in turn 3.
Right now, it doesn't quite look like it's going to be enough here. We're going to find out.
He'd have to poke out right now if he wanted to do anything. I'd say he's pretty content on getting 9 points here.
Yeah, it just didn't look like the speed didn't come. The run did not come right there. That's just really odd to me. Imagine we're going to see the yellow flag here in a couple moments. There it is. Yellow flag is out. Stage 1 complete. Will Barlow, Jordan Saylors, Timothy Latham are your top 3.
Well, your stage 1 winner, Will Barlow. Getting that extra playoff point.
All right, as the drivers are going to get bunched back up, I'm sure we're going to see some pit stops. I don't think it's going to completely change the complexion of this race based on how many drivers that are really still in the race. But Corey, do you want to dial up Will Barlow, our stage 1 winner?
We'll give him until after he gets out of his pit box. Let him focus on coming in and pitting.
I'm all for that, just pre-planning.
Good points stage there for Jordan Saylors in the 55. That should put him now into the playoffs with those 9 points.
Yeah, taking a look right here. He was 8 behind Joseph Dupont. J.D. Baker was 12 to the good. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's going to put Saylors in, assuming he finishes. J.D. Baker is likely going to fall out. That's what I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
But like you said, things can still happen.
There's a miracle in every Daytona race. See, these drivers are pulling into their pit box. I'd say just feel for this stop. I don't see the cars going up, and I don't want any jack stands. And Will Barlow is out of his pit box. We'll bring him up here in the booth, get a word with him. Oh no, we got a word in here. We'll ask him. Hey, Will, you got a copy on us up here in the booth?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, I just heard you didn't put full tank of gas in.
Yeah, I had it set to 3.6 from my previous stop, you know, to get back out in the lead, and I forgot to adjust it back up. So I'm going to be stopping in here again.
Oh, boy. Not what you want to do. Oh, well, there's only like 5 competitive cars out there.
Yeah, we still got a shot at this thing, even with this.
Well, how's the race been so far, though?
Kind of eventful with that first caution there. You know, I was working with JD, and I don't know, he was a little bit squirrely here and there, but for the most part, it wasn't bad. But hell, he come out of 2 there, and it just went. So, other than that, the car's fast. If I can get somebody to stay on my bumper, we get flying. So.
Is that how it is with this draft package? You really need somebody right on your back bumper?
Yep, and the second guy really needs a third car on him to keep him on my bumper, so it's a little more difficult than previous draft packages, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, so far you're doing good. You won that stage, so I mean, good on points. Got you an extra playoff point. Going to try to get that other playoff point.
Yes, sir. I'm shooting for that, and the race win too. We'll see if we can do it.
Well, we'll be rooting for you up here, man. Good talking with you.
You too. Thanks, buddy. Hey, JD, can you get in the frontline channel? Just try.
We hadn't got rid of him yet.
I know, right? I couldn't find his channel.
Oh well. He got a little bit talkative before we were able to switch him back, but you know, these drivers want to be squared away before they go back to green.
Yeah.
So that's what he was trying to do, is get squared away and get rolling. We're gonna have the double raise crew on the front row this time. Timothy Latham, Jordan Sailors.
Raise Energy duo.
Have you had Raise Energy before, Corey?
No, I have not.
It's worth a try. It's worth a try.
Well, I could use that code that's on the back of the number 5 there. It says use code TEMPTATION for 15% off your next order.
I would suggest it. I'm telling you. It's good stuff. Very, very good stuff.
As these drivers are about to go green for second stage racing, pace car is in pits and they are on the go-go juice. Richard Smith finds himself up here in the top 3 now. He was a lap down earlier, and he's got a clean car in that Diet Pepper, Dr. Pepper car.
Diet Dr. Pepper Camry. All right, that is a pretty neat paint scheme too. That's one that I didn't recognize earlier. Really neat design, I think. And notice that the numbers are already forward on that number 23, just like it's gonna be IRL, if you don't know what that means, in real life next season for the Cup Series. In fact, I really didn't like that number placement, but now, seeing it right here, doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, I think they're experimenting with it. They try to shove it all the way forward towards the tire, and somebody said keep it behind the A-pillar, which if you don't know what an A-pillar is, it's that little thin strip of metal in front of the driver. Oh, it's Timothy Latham got real wiggly.
That's going to open the door for Jordan Sailors. Well, actually, he had no choice. He had to go to the high side. You see a huge run right there, Will Barlow's. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes the draft just comes right at you, but the second you have to check up like he did right there, it just shuts your run down. It's just gone. It's that fast. So looks like we're going to get back to single file racing. Corey, let's go ahead. We're going to have several green flag laps, I imagine. Let's go ahead and take a break, go back to turn it up. We're going to be back here in a few moments.
Sailors and Will Barlow work together. Thinking on the fuel strategy for pit stops here. Will Barlow pushed Jordan Sailors up to the lead. Get around the lap car, Carl Dodson right there, almost wrecking. We're almost wrecking. Hang in there, boys. Woo. Okay, that gave me an anxiety attack.
More aggressive than you would expect to see right now, aren't
There's only 6 cars on the track unless you want to count Carl Dodson running around without a nose and Tony Patton just logging in laps. So yeah, kind of aggressive here, and we got a stage break here in about 8 laps. So kind of a little more aggressive than I'd like.
Yeah, they sure are. They're bouncing around a lot right there. Oh, that's real tight. That's real tight.
Do not wreck. Do not wreck.
Yeah, we need these guys on the track. Work for us.
Well, as I was saying right before we came back from our break, if Carl Dodson wins this race, I owe him a bear hug.
He's down pit road. I don't think this is looking good for his chances. But they keep fixing that machine. How far back is he right now?
He is 3 laps down.
Okay, it looks like he might adjust.
And he just disconnected. He may have popped the motor. That might be a thing.
That sounds to me like you don't have to worry about giving any bear hugs.
Oh, I mean, the next person was going to be Tony Patton. He's still out on our racetrack.
Well, if it works out for him, that's most probably worthwhile too. Another miracle win. That could be, I should say.
I mean, the way they're driving up here at the front, I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah, guys, it's only halfway.
Wait, no, it is halfway.
14
Alright,
guy
see,
down pit road? Sure is.
All by himself, so not probably the best of idea.
He's probably looking at staying out on the stage by chance. Not that I feel like that's going to do him any good, you know, considering the amount of cars that we have left. But that's the only thing that I can think of here as he missed his stall. I do that a lot at these tracks. Your tires get so hot, it just doesn't stop the way you expect them to.
Yeah, especially on like 25 lap old tires. They're really warm and really slick. You gotta jam on the brake, you slide through a box. Drivers are talking about keeping it straight and they'll be fine. Right now, I'm just seeing all their aggressiveness.
Yeah, they're definitely seeing what they can do. That's for certain, aren't they?
I'm not sure, but I think everybody has to come in for a pit stop. They closed the pits with 2 to go in the stage. They're coming to 4 to go in the stage. If they're going to pit, they're going to pit here in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, it should be pretty quick, I do imagine.
I don't think they're going to get to Dave Fuge to put him a lap down, but I mean, other than he can just come in and get a real quick splash of fuel for strategy. That's about the only thing I've seen him doing for pitting there early. Tony Patton. He's
Ooh, it looked like some guys were thinking about coming down right there. Thought better of it, but it sure looked like a few of them stepped down there and were thinking about it.
yeah. They got this. If they gotta come, they gotta come this lap. Once they get to the line, the pits will be closed. Tony Patton now is in 7th. First car lap down. See what these top 5 drivers decide here. Looks like everybody's safe on the field as they all stay out. Race control will close the pits. It's gonna be interesting to see if any of these drivers decide to step out and steal a stage point. Or a playoff point, that is. See Will Barlow in 4th place, stepping out to the outside. Just a little bit. Seeing if anybody wants to go up there with him. A little contact to the back bumper from Richard Smith to Jordan Sailors. That's going to open up the door for Timothy Latham to look on the outside. Will Barlow. Jordan goes up high to block the momentum. Timothy now underneath of Jordan Sailors. This is a battle for your lead for the stage win. We're on the white flag for the stage. Timothy looking good for the stage win right now. They got one more shot at it down the back stretch.
These guys are getting in line. You got a car maybe stepping out there.
Oh, wrecking!
Holy cow!
Barlow,
Right at
Richard
the camera.
Smith. No caution for. Okay, they do have caution.
That'll be our stage caution as well. Let's go ahead and see this one more time here. Oh. I'm a little concerned here.
I mean,
Let's get loose.
no, drivers are talking about how Richard doored him.
Yeah, close drive here. Let's back this up. Let's go from his perspective. In car, Richard Smith. Let's see how this went down. Okay. I don't think that... I think I see what happened here. He's coming slow here. I think he thought he was clear there. I think he thought he knew it was close and he was trying to get the side draft there. I don't see any malintent whatsoever. I just think it was a little too close. And well, these next gen cars, there's a lot of net code in there, but I think he flat out he touched it right there. But it looks also like Will Barlow. None of this is his fault. He's just kind of a bystander here. I think he had that just enough little wiggle right there, as you see Timothy Latham coming down pit road, that it got in the way.
Jordan's out of gas.
Oh. That's not good. Will he make it?
Get the pace. Somebody get a push truck out there. I'd hop out there and help him, but that ain't possible. Somebody start Flintstoning it.
Yeah, this is not good for him right here. And he towed. Fortunately, I think he's only going to lose one lap. That's huge. And that's the end of the stage. He's not going to get that one back. Wow. That could have huge implications.
Timothy informing the crew chief that he's hopping out of the car going to the Porta-John. So Dave Hughes is down on pit road. And Brian Mabry is gonna attain the lead here. We got. We only have Brian Mabry on track. Okay, here comes Timothy Latham.
Oh my goodness. Guys, like y'all knew you had to finish the race.
Tony Patton is your lucky dog, or should be. I think he is. If not, he's getting the wave around.
What a crazy race. Not really sure how else to sum this one up. And it's not even over. We've still got 40 laps to go.
We got 40 some laps to go when we go green here. And there's only 3 cars without damage.
And I don't think they're all the same lap either.
Well, the good part is Dave Fuge and Brian Mabry are on a team. So Timothy Latham, he's gonna have to get Jordan Sailors back out there after his tow truck drops him off.
I'm willing to bet that's probably happened now. Let's see here.
He hasn't left his pit box yet.
No. It looks like he still has a little bit of time left. And those pace lights are out. This is not gonna go well here if he can't get out of there soon. We're gonna keep this angle here. We should be able to see the field come around in a couple of moments, but gosh. 3 minutes worth of towing? That's harsh.
I know.
Look
I
at
mean,
these
all they needed was a
grandstands, though.
push truck. Oh, yeah, grandstands are packed.
Oh, I think I saw some movement. I think he might be getting ready to come. However, if green flag is out, you're going to see these drivers come by. Here comes Jordan Sailors. He's going to try. He's going to really have to get up and go. It's going to be really close here. He's going to end up just behind them, I think. Maybe he'll get out in front of them if he's lucky.
No, he's going to end up behind him, and I don't think he's going to be in the draft. And they'll put him 2 laps down.
Oh man, he's going to
in a
try.
lucky dog spot.
He really did not need to lose that lap, but just unfortunate time. And see, in fact, this is one of those situations where hindsight's 20/20. As yeah, he's not going to have the draft here, unfortunately. But probably should have just towed it immediately.
Yeah. He just... I mean, he's still in top 5, so... This is going to be interesting. We got 3 cars that are clean. Will Barlow has pretty good right side damage. Tony Patton somehow is keeping up with this draft with his mangled up race car. Oh, he's passing Will Barlow. Okay. That damage ain't as bad as I thought it was. On Tony's car. And we got 3 cars here. Top 3, all same lap. Will Barlow is on the same lap, so I mean, you know, Will Barlow, he can still win this race if the top 3 all kill each other. I'm just more interested because Dave Fuge and Brian Mabry, they're on the same team, so Timothy Latham, he's the odd car out. I mean, I'd be concerned for Timothy.
Yeah. Granted, they all need each other. That's the unfortunate part about it. or the fortunate part about it. Is what I meant to say. They need each other, so I don't think they're gonna. I don't think it's gonna really be that bad for them.
Well, the bad part is we gotta do at least one pit stop before the end of this race. Timothy would probably do better off actually dropping behind Dave Fusion, Brian Mabry, instead of being the control car.
Yeah, but I mean, still, even I think you're right about that. But even still, say he has to pit a couple laps before. It's two cars. I don't think they're going to be fast enough to run away from him, if that makes sense. I just don't think they'll be quite fast enough to run away. I think they'll end up close to each other on the track the same way, as long as nobody botches a pit stop, and I don't think it makes a difference, personally. Now, I could be very wrong about that, but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, some teammate swapping in the second pack, as we're gonna deem it, with Tony Patton and Jordan Sailors. Will Barlow gave the command to Jordan Sailors that he needs to be in front of their pack, considering the damage. That quite didn't work the way Will probably wanted it to, as Jordan Sailors is able to just pull away from that little pack. Honestly, Jordan Sailors, if he wants to, he could go up front and help out Timothy Latham. May be Latham's best bet.
I think you just might be right about that. Look at that run the number 3 car's got by laying back. But here's the problem. If he tries to kick it to the outside, which he laid off right there, it just stalls out the moment you're not being towed by the car in front of you anymore. But that draft right there is just insane, the type of runs that you can get. They're almost unreal. And that's what makes these cars interesting and a lot of fun, because you just kind of never really know what's going to happen with it.
Yeah, if you try to pull out, you almost hit a wall of bricks. That's what it feels like to see J.D. Baker. He's coming back out on track. 49 laps down.
Yeah, he's currently sitting in 11th. But that being said, he's going to catch up to Carl Dodson, P.J. Inkelkins, and Joseph Dupont. That, if he's back on track, that could literally be a playoff-saving move to get this machine back on track.
Yeah, he could. Hey, as long as that motor don't expire on him before the end of this thing, he can get up to P8.
How many laps are we showing Dodson down?
Dodson right now is 20 laps down and currently out of the race. PJ's 33 out of the race. DuPont is 37 out of the race.
Absolutely, yeah. See, that's huge. It's just staying in the race and getting some laps. That's a big deal. That's the playoffs right there. He was battling those guys. Maybe not so much P.J. Inkelkins, but Joseph Dupont for sure. And look at Tony Patton. He's sitting in 6th, right where he needs to be.
Yeah, Tony has the 3-point gain just from the stages over DuPont that he needed.
And I want to mention something else. Philip Loy is not in the race. So,
oh, yeah, good point.
Him not being in the race, I believe, looking at it right now, and Doc Holliday is not in the race, I am going to go ahead, go out on a limb and say Tony Patton, Jordan Sailors, Carl Dodson, J.D. Baker are going to be the final 4.
Yeah, I'd go out on a limb and say you're correct there.
And unfortunately, that being said, Philip Loy, Joseph Dupont, Doc Holliday, and a valiant effort by P.J. Inkelkins are going to miss the cut and be on the outside looking good. And that's just how racing goes, unfortunately. And using Daytona as the cutoff track that's just kind of what can happen.
As we go back out front here, your top 3 drivers, they've got a 7-second gap over Will Barlow. Well, your second pack, led by Jordan Sailors, it's now gained a 4th car in J.D. Baker. If Richard Smith can get back out on track, I'm not saying they can.
Yeah, it looks like he's being pitted on right now. Looks like he's coming back.
Oh,
he sure is. There he goes. What about that timing right there?
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice. So they could get 5 cars in that pack. I'm not sure if they'd be quick enough, though.
I'm thinking probably not. Jordan Sailor seems to be the fastest car in that group right there. So he's gonna have to be the lead car based off of that. They're running about 0.6 slower than the top 3. Which isn't too much slower, but obviously they're not going fast enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
See what they can do when they do eventually pick up Richard Smith. Right now, they're getting close to the point where we're in a fuel window. Here in about 5 laps.
Yeah, that could make things interesting as well. Well, maybe not so, because we've only got 4 cars on the lead lap here. You got Timothy Latham, Dave Hughes Jr., Brian Mabry, and Will Barlow, even though he's beat up. Those are your lead lap cars.
Yeah, it's just gonna take Timothy. He has to pit with Dave Hughes and Brian Mabry. If he doesn't pit with those 2, he at least has to pit and make it out right behind them or in front of them. So
Yeah,
you see, they're gonna catch Richard Smith. I could make their lead pack a 4-car group, depending on how bad Richard is. Getting out of the way for your top 3. See if he can't keep with the draft. Not gonna happen.
Single file. This is starting to get a little bit repetitive, I must say. We know everything's still going to change as we get further along, but definitely starting to get a touch repetitive, I must say.
Oh, Timothy hit the yellow line. Dave hits the yellow line. Game of cat and mouse of who is brave enough to touch the yellow line in the corner. I don't think I'd play that game.
Alright, so we're going to have one more pit stop, like you said. This pit stop, I almost don't think that these guys can pass each other. Unless it's 2 versus 1.
That's kind of what it is. It's 2v1.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be. That's the only way that you're going to pass anybody right here. And, that being said, that's not really going to... I don't know, not going to help things by chance? You know, so I really feel like the way these guys get back from, or how this comes out right here, how the pit stop cycle through is going to be how this race is going to finish. I just don't see any way that the passing is going to come into play the way that we think it is, because you've watched these runs happen. Sorry that I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. You watch these runs happen, but the moment you pull out, like you said, you know, it's like you hit a wall of air and the car just stops. So without that second car behind you to push you, you're not going to get there. But we also know that second car isn't going to sit behind you. If it's these three cars, all three of them are going to attempt to win. And I think because of that, that's going to give the leader the advantage. And I think whoever's leading this group of three is going to win the race after these pit stops. That's what I think.
While you were talking about that, I was watching your second pack of the damaged cars and Jordan Sailors, and they were having some brake check problems.
Yeah, some of the guys must be slower and or faster than the others. You can see Jordan Sailors is faster than the guys behind him. Pretty much by himself, even. He's got enough of a draft. The guys behind him have enough of a draft together and behind him that they could stay with him, but it doesn't even seem like they could get up to him. So, just a really active, interesting situation right here. I don't think any of these guys are going to be a factor, unfortunately for them, and unfortunately for the ending of the race as well.
Well, you see, Will Barlow, he's going to get helped by J.D. Baker. Shoot out to the outside of Tony Patton and Richard Smith. They're going to get too wide. I think Will Barlow really needs Jordan Sailors to move up.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah, giving team communications to Jordan move up high. Gonna leave Tony Patton on the bottom. They're trying to communicate with each other and form a better working assembly line here.
Yeah, that seems to most definitely be what's going on. Wow, just, you know, it's really crazy that this is how this race has unfolded almost, you know. Some untimely wrecks, and we got a three-car battle for the lead. There's a fourth car, there's Will Barlow right here. He's top four, but he's with that second pack. It's just going to be interesting. These guys ought to be getting ready to come down pit road, you think? Or do you think they'll wait till about 10 to go?
Yeah, they should. Anytime. I mean, they last all pitted lap 61. They can go 25 to 30 laps. So you're looking here next 6 or so laps. Everybody should be coming down. Looking like Jordan Sailors, Will Barlow planning to come in about lap 85 to 87.
Let's try to go through the field here a little bit, a little further back here. Jordan Sailors, you got Will Barlow, number 78 machine of J.D. Baker back on track, you know, doing what he can, trying to get those last two positions. Richard Smith running seventh there behind Tony Patton. Kudos to the guys that are fighting, staying on the track, really trying to just to make something happen, to make sure they make it. I like that. And if you're in, you can win, and that's all there is to it. I've been a part of a bunch of leagues where the guys who haven't won a single race managed to make it to the Final Four. Things happen to the guys that win, and you have a champion who was winless. Rather crazy. if you ask me, but it can happen. So getting into the playoffs is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the playoffs for this league, too. They put on a really excellent show. I'm glad to be a part of it. So race 1 of the playoffs, they'll be back September 17th. That'll be at Darlington. Corey, that'll be all you. We'll pair you up with another producer. I will not be here for that race, but I will, however, be back September 24th for Vegas. And then we have Talladega October 1st. And that's going to be the round of 12 where we're going to lose 4 drivers at another super speedway race. Just crazy. And then we'll finish up Texas, Kansas, Martinsville. Phoenix is where we're going to declare our champion.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, me neither. This is going to be fun. Phoenix with these guys, I think, is going to be a super entertaining race. These guys are fast, and I like Phoenix. I like the way you drive the track. It's one of the tracks that I think I'm personally a little better at than others. And it's got some banking, but it drives really flat. And you have the tendency to oversteer and really cook your tires. But when you get it right, man, you just can fly around that track. And it's just a lot of fun. Great place to move the championship to, IRL, and for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series. All right, here come the pit stops. Timothy Latham coming down.
Yeah, Timothy's the last taker here. Yeah, that was a little quick. He got down to 60 right at the cone. Pit speed is 55, if I remember right.
55. That's accurate. Let's see how long he sits in here. It is 60? My mistake.
It is 60. He's the last taker here. See where he can come out in regards of where Dave Fuge, Brian Mabry are. Dave Fuge ahead of Brian Mabry as they come across the line to cross over to lap 88. Timothy Latham.
This is not what Timothy Latham wanted. They're coming in a hurry. 8 seconds. 7 seconds.
He's going to be back on the back stretch.
6 seconds.
Still getting up to speed. He's going to have to throw a whale of a block here to hold off the momentum.
Sure is. You can see them back there behind him. We're going to see how close this gets. It looks like it's starting to stabilize just a bit right there. Looks like he's well up to speed now. Granted, they're still going to catch him, but I think he's going to end up being the leader here. He's going to, like you said, he's going to have to block really hard probably to prevent those guys from going by. But I think he's right where he wants to be.
Yeah, he came out where he needs to be. It's just a matter of, dude, Dave and Brian, will they try to just slingshot around Timothy as they get right to him? I mean, they're going to get in his draft and be able to really sling on by if they really want. See what they
they've
do.
closed the gap now to 1 second. He's going to have to get in the way because he could potentially lose the draft here. So I don't expect him to get out of the way. I expect him to try to slow their momentum down. He's going to have to. There's no way around it. He's going to have to try to stay in their way, like you said, and slow these guys down.
I mean, again, these guys, they're trying to battle for 5 playoff points.
So let's show the difference here. Fuge is at 192, and Latham's at 185.
Here they go. They're slingshotting out. High side of Timothy Latham. See how good Brian Mabry's able to hang into the draft. They are working to... Brian Mabry kind of backed out of that slingshot. And there they go. That was teamwork at its finest. Dave Fuge to the lead.
It sure was. Timothy Latham did an excellent job forcing his way into the draft right there. So now it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen here. So Fuge is... Remember what I said. I think Fuge is in the best spot. It doesn't mean he's going to win, but I think being in the front with only 3 cars is where you want to be. We've seen it on the stages. The guys behind him just haven't been able to pull out of line and make the pass. It's going to take some help between the 3 and the 5 for that to happen.
Yeah, and being that the 3 is teammates to the 14, I don't really see him trying to take a win from his teammate. But then again, 5 playoff points to the winner. You see Timothy, actually, he's going up high on Brian Mabry here. Side drafting a little bit, cutting the momentum down.
He's going to have to get... He's going to have to be a lot closer to him than that right there to get around.
He's trying to split him up. Maybe gets it here. No, Brian Mabry side drafts Timothy Latham.
See, yeah, it's not going to work. And see, the issue with that is that high side is so much farther around the track than the low line is. Whoa, big wiggle right there. In fact, I mean, it's almost like Timothy Latham's going to have to force the issue. He's going to have to get right on the side of number 3, and I think you're right. I think he realizes that these guys are teammates, and he's going to have to do everything he can, and he's going to spend the next 13
on the
laps.
Yellow line there, that was real sketchy. If we wreck, I don't know.
Goodness. That'd be interesting. See, he's getting too far out. He's going to have to hold a spot. And he's just going to have to risk letting the number 3 of Brian Mabry door him. I don't think, without being side by side, within an arm's reach, I don't think he's going to be able to pass on the outside here. Just based on what these cars do. And now, unless the 3 wiggles and opens the door, and he puts it in there on the inside, the 3 is going to be the one that gets hung out to dry, obviously, because Timothy's going to have a better draft from the 14 at that point than Brian Mabry's going to have. This is turning into a real interesting finish here, and I'm rather excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, we're just about the 20 to go here. Stay tuned, folks. See if Timothy Latham can split the 2 teammates, or if the 2 teammates can figure out working together is the best idea.
Now, I do think that if the number 3 tries to win the race, that opens the door for the 5, but I still, in that case being said, that's when I believe that the 14, the leader, is pretty much guaranteed to win, is if all 3 of them try to win, or if the 2 behind them both try to win. But that's going to be, in my opinion, the only way the 5 wins. I think that Brian Mabry can pull out from here, and he might have a chance if he gets a big shove from number 5 at the right time, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it. But it looks like Timothy Latham's starting to get the idea that he's going to have to stay closer side by side there with number 3. And it's possible, and wow, he's got a huge run right here. But see, just going into the corner when he's able to go down low just doesn't work for you. Maybe they're going to be able to use the traffic that they're coming up on. Or he might be able to use the lap traffic that they're going to be catching up to here in the near future. Right there, and you can see him. And maybe that'll be his one opportunity. But as of right now, that outside lane is just going to be real tough to make happen.
This is the best move. There you go.
Holy cow.
I was fixing to say, the front stretch was going to be his best opportunity to get around the 3, and that's what he did.
Holy moly.
Now he's got him separated.
Talk about a move. Barely clear, shoved it in there. And, you know, I really wonder kind of what happened there. What stalled the run of the number 3? Because up until that point, the whole time, like I was mentioning, he just couldn't get to the outside and get around the 3. For some reason, it's almost as if the 3 got off the gas for a little bit. Maybe he felt like he was going to snap loose, and that's what it would have had to take in order for the 5 to get around. And now that happened, this changes the game, because now we know Timothy Latham, 3-time winner, we know he's going to try to win this race.
Yeah, you see the lap cars. This could be the pick for Latham to try to take over the lead if he wants to. They're going to catch him in a good spot here.
So if you're Timothy Latham, I wonder, do you try to pull to the outside of the 14 at the right time, which prevents him from sliding up the track and getting stuck behind these guys? Wonder if that's the move he's going to make. He's not. He's going to follow Fuge around on the high side.
Now, if he can slide down real quick, and then Clay have the assistance that he would need.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much stuck where he is until that last corner.
His car seems to do better down the front straight, more so than Fusion Mabry. And if he's gonna make a pass on Fuge, he almost has to do it before the white flag lap, because he'd be passing him down in turn 1. See Mabry looking on the outside a little bit. Crossed over to lap 99.
Now, I wouldn't put it past a driver. I'm not sure if Timothy Latham would, but a driver to come up and nudge the 14 a few times going into the corner to get him loose and get him up the track and try to go down below him. But I think it would be very difficult for Timothy Latham to get around Fuge the same way he got around Brian, because in that case, he's going to have no draft there and he's going to hit that wall. And at least, wow, Brian Mabry trying to make a move on the high side here. It's not going to work for him. I think it'll be a lot harder to do that, so it might turn into a shoving match between these two guys.
JD out there getting the spot he needs.
Yeah, move him up to 8th place. Just riding around right here. It looks like he's with the Barlow in the number 15 machine. And he's with Jordan Sailors in the number 55. Fortunate Jordan Sailors not going to get what he needs to get back into this race, which is just unfortunate. Ran out of fuel, bad timing, not enough cars left really for a caution or any kind of wreck to happen. He's going to end up probably going to end up P5 a lap down.
Just looking at our front runners, Brian Mabry may be playing a game here where he's going to lay back, get the run, and leave Timothy Latham on the bottom. That may be their game plan.
Any way you can get there. I mean, that's all there is to it. However you can get there.
So we're coming up to 3 to go, 4 to go. Laps are closing in. Dave Fusion, Ford Mustang, Latham in a Chevy Camaro, Brian Mabry in the Chevy Camaro. 2 teammates, 1 a loner. And you see Latham, he's kind of closing up on the back bumper of Fuge. If you're going to really shove right now is the time to do it, to start shoving. You just got to keep an eye on your temperatures. Make sure you don't overheat that car at the wrong spot.
Yeah, that is a big part of it right there.
Probably seeing how close he can get before it starts overheating. See Mabry, he's kind of hanging off of them, letting them do their thing. Checking out what kind of a slingshot move he can do. So we're coming around, this is turn 3. Coming out of 4, we're going to see 2 to go. If there's going to be a move, it's going to be here. 2 to go.
This is where things are going to get interesting.
Does Fuge pull up and pull Mabry, or how is he going to play this out?
If he pulls up, I think Timothy Latham wins the race. He's got to stay on the bottom. Has to stay on the bottom.
I mean, he almost has to, right? You see Latham starting to hang back. Looking for the slingshot. We're coming around to the white flag. One more lap to go in the Virtual Cup Series at Daytona.
I think he has to get underneath him. I think he's going to have to push him a bit coming into the corner right here. And he's not quite there.
About 2 miles left in this race. One more shot down the backstretch for Timothy Latham. How will Dave Fuge throw the blocks? Does Mabry help a Chevy out to the win, though?
Oh, let's see.
Team
Big run from the
Latham.
3. That might give it an opportunity to the 5 here. Here comes Latham with the huge run. Is Fuge going to block? He's not. He's going to try to come up. He is going to block. They're going to turn each other. Oh my God!
Hold up! Hold up! Will Barlow,
What?
31. Who's going to get across the line here? Brian Mabry gets it in gear.
Here comes Latham.
Here comes Latham. Can they get to the line in time? Who's going to do it? Brian
Oh my God!
Revenge hit from Mabry. What? I mean,
Oh my God!
Will Barlow could have gotten his 31 seconds back.
I am dying. We're gonna have to take a cut of this. This race ain't over. You got guys coming through. Holy cow! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's back this up. Let's watch this happen all over again. Fuge basically put Latham up there on the wall. Then right there, they tap. They just all hit each other, and then it's just a matter of who can get going the fastest. Timothy Latham's trying. He's trying. Mabry have a straighter. You can see Latham really get on the throttle here.
Hold up. Will Barlow gets third?
Wow.
Will Barlow got third.
Holy smokes. I've called a lot of races, Corey, and I know you have too. I have never seen something like this happen.
No, I have not. I mean, it would have been even more better if Will Barlow would have won. I mean, I'll take that finish any day, but what?
Just
Will
crazy.
Barlow third.
We're watching the white flag lap one more time with Fuge leading coming into turn 1. You see Mabry come try to get to the outside. Timothy Latham doesn't really work for him right there. And he's going to end up going third to first based off of all 3 drivers trying to win. I don't even think Fuge needed to make that move. I think he just needed to stay on the bottom, and I don't think Timothy Latham would have got by him. But, I mean, you can't tell for sure. Huge run right here from Timothy Latham into 3. Side by side, Fuge gets loose, puts him in the wall. They flip Mabry as they go by there. All 3 cars are spinning on the track. Brian just happens to spin straight and keep rolling. Timothy Latham has to gather himself, get back on the throttle, and I mean, he almost got there. He almost got there.
Oh my God.
Holy smokes.
This is going to be an interesting interview.
We're going to have to play this clip, like, back. Like, this is insane. There you
I
see
mean,
our
with-
race winner. Beat up, but crossed the start-finish line.
We got to get our third place driver. We're down there in the pits with him. Will Barlow. Oh boy.
Did this happen?
I don't know. We're going to have to ask our third place driver here.
That's just so wild.
Well, here we go. Hey there, Will. The weird scenario that we're talking to you for third?
Yeah, I didn't expect that to happen.
Neither did we.
Yeah, I can tell you those last couple laps I was saying, wreck. They did, but not bad enough for me to go up there and get the win.
I mean, like I said earlier, you could have still won this race.
Yeah, it was close. I can't believe I was able to hang on there, though, and stay on the lead lap. You know, Jordan and JD worked with me there and able to make some decent lap time, not go a lap down. It was not bad considering what happened there on lap 59, lap 60, whenever it was.
Yeah, it was lap 60. I mean, all things considered, top three, man. I mean, it was single file out there. I can't ask you how that race went. I know how your race went.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy. You know, stage win and a top three. Hell, I'll take it.
Oh, you got anybody you'd like to thank tonight, though?
My team, Frontline Esports, our sponsor, Bruzy, and that's about it.
All right. Well, John, you got anything you'd like to talk to you about, Will?
He just stayed in the hunt, man. That's all there is to it after that unfortunate contact earlier. But just what a wild finish. This is something that we're gonna make a clip of this one. This is gonna go down with you guys for a long time.
Yeah, I'm running there in fourth, and then my spotter says, "Oh, they're wrecking." I'm like, "Oh, I hope they don't get going," but hell, I still got up to third. Poor old Dave Fuge, he couldn't get going again. But yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, just what a finish. Insane.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it, folks. Your third place driver. I'm going to call you persistent Will Barlow.
Thanks, guys.
Well, we got Timothy Latham down there in the pits. I'll let you get a word with him, Jonathan.
Timothy Latham. Guys in the booth, man. What a chaotic finish. Want to walk us through it?
Yeah, I'm not upset about it. That was, I knew with two teammates out there, it was going to be a hell of an uphill battle trying to at least pass one of them. I'm kind of glad I got by Brian there at the first place to give me that opportunity there. But, you know, just side drafting and blocking, you know, just the normal stuff at a super speedway, and you know, we all got collected in that. I hate that we wrecked. I was really hoping we'd be 3 wide there at the end to see who would get it, but man, that was some of the best fun I've had on a last lap in a while. And you know, Brian was the first one to get his car back around and get up to speed, and you know, that's what did it. But you know, I'm glad to get a P2. I think that finish gives me the regular season championship, so that's 5 bonus points going into the playoffs. So I'm glad about that. And just overall, it wasn't a great race for a lot of people. I know we had a pretty big wreck early, and I hate to see all those guys tore up, especially Justin, who I was battling for the championship there. But, you know, oh well, we finished second, so we'll try to do better next time.
I'm sure you will do better next time, as far as the racing aspect goes. But you very nearly got there. You almost got there for first. I mean, that was close. Maybe another 100 yards, and you might have been there. I don't think Brian had any more power, and you were speeding up. Almost.
Yeah, I had the meatball flag myself, so I was definitely down on power. I think I actually got my car turned around quicker, but he had just a little bit more power than I did, and he spun the tires there. But maybe I wish me and Dave didn't hit each other. You know, we would have been a really good finish there, but oh well, it happens.
I still think it was a really good finish because I've never seen it happen before.
Yeah, you know, what I was mostly afraid of was Will coming up and sneaking with the win. You know, I thought he might come up there and get it. I saw he got third right there at the last second, but that's what I was afraid of, him just sneaking by everything.
That would have been just insane. Well, that being said, I'll turn you over to Corey. Corey, go ahead.
I can't stop laughing at that finish, man. It was too funny for me to watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
good one.
you made it interesting for me.
I am happy for Brian. You know, he probably deserved Michigan, and I took it away from him. So, you know, I'm glad he redeemed himself there.
Yeah, you got to get that win in there every so often.
Yeah.
Well, man, there you go. Good job on your second place. What's your affiliate code for Raise Energy? Tell the fans out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so if you want to get 15% off your order on repsports.com, if you want to buy some Rays, it's code TIMTATION. That's TIMTATION. Get you 15% off. They just came out with a new flavor too. It's peach. So if you want to try that out.
Highly recommend. I do
I may
highly
just have to order
recommend.
some.
All right. Use the code.
There you have it, folks. Your second place driver, Timothy Latham.
All right. Appreciate you guys putting on the show.
Absolutely. You guys put one on for us the last couple laps. We appreciate it. Enjoy your night.
Yeah. Not a problem. You two guys.
And we got our winner down there waiting in victory lane. Hey, Brian! What's up? Up here in the booth. Chaotic finish. Third to first, right there in the last 100 yards. What went through your mind?
Well, that last stage there, obviously me and Dave were the only two teammates left out there so we could work together. And the plan was when we pitted, if he was going to pit, we was going to stay out, or, vice versa. But luckily it worked out for us. And come down that last lap, I was going to stick with Dave, and I turned it a little too hard left there because I didn't know which way they're going to go, and got a little out from under me, and a win there. But I'm happy to get a win because win's a win, But yeah.
I mean, yeah, win's a win. You got to take them how you get them, no matter how they come. Rain, wreck, sun, snow.
But it was definitely crazy.
I mean, I don't really know what questions to ask you. It was single file for most of the race.
Yeah, it was just for a lot of riding, and me and Dave talking back and forth, trying to strategize, come up with 5 different things to do throughout the run. But like I said, luckily it worked out for us. I wish it could have worked out better for him. But hey, a win's a win.
Yeah, that's 5 playoff points going into the playoffs. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You got anybody you'd like to thank for sponsors tonight?
Well, Dave does my paint jobs, and Kevin still does my paint jobs, and I'd like to say hello to my parents for watching, and thank Justin for putting on this, and have fun.
That's all you can do is have fun, man. John, you got anything you'd like to ask him?
No, I think we covered it. We've shown that replay a bunch of times, and it just all in the end worked out for you. And it was kind of let's see, what's the best word here? Mediocre comes to mind for the way the race was, but that's not the right word. Just calm. Let's say overall a calm race. But those last 12 laps were great because we just didn't really know what was going to happen between you top 3 at the time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to cutting that last lap into some footage and publishing that.
Well, the plan was trying to keep him behind us. We didn't want him to get in between us because that put us at a disadvantage. But because if he went to the outside, I was going with Dave or the inside. But
right.
It somewhat worked the way we planned, but not quite. But like I said, a win's a win. But wish it could have been better. But hey, don't always get it the way you want it to.
That is true. Well, you got some momentum going into the playoffs. We'll be watching you rather a lot. We look forward to seeing you at Darlington in a couple weeks.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
Right on. Well, Corey, if you want to send him back, we can go ahead and wrap up tonight's show.
Yeah, that was interesting finish, man.
Yeah, was it ever? Brian Mabry wins, I don't want to say on a miracle, but on a ridiculous finish. Timothy Latham finishes P2, almost takes the race win. Will Barlow manages P3 because Dave Fuge Jr., Timothy Latham, and Brian Mabray, all got into contact. All three drivers spun coming to the line, and it was a matter of who got going the quickest. Jordan Sailors running out of fuel. That, unfortunate, took him out of the race. Had to tow, lost a lap. Just crazy night. That's your top 5 right there. Crazy race. I mean, you know, it was a calm race, but an entertaining race. There were big things that happened at certain times that really shaped how this race ended.
Yeah, I mean, just big wreck at the beginning of the race early on. That's really what shaped the rest of it. Glad to see Tony Patton salvage a 6th place. Should put him into the playoffs. We'll have to look at the points as they get released, see if JD made it. Hard break for PJ Engelkins in that 93 machine.
Yeah, just what an interesting race. And Joseph Dupont, Danny Setzer, Justin Boyles, Dakota Jorgensen, just not the races that they wanted. Still really not sure what happened with Dakota Jorgensen. Maybe it was just kind of a start and park kind of event. He just couldn't make the full race, you know. Justin Boyles had a lot of speed early, ended up 87 laps down. Same with Danny Setzer. That first wreck just took those guys out. Wild finish, Corey. Had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Darlington, or watching you light it up at Darlington in a couple weeks.
Well, I look forward to watching Darlington.
Yeah, that one's going to be a lot of fun. So that being said, race car drivers of iRacing Virtual Cup Series, the fans of the iRacing Virtual Cup Series drivers, SRM, Jonathan Leach, and Corey, we'll just leave it at that. Thank you for being a part of the SRM family. We look forward to seeing you back here in 2 weeks for Darlington. Good night.